The Jefferson County Health Department has vaccinated 25% of the county's 16 and older. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Rich Pierce. Now we're learning more about what to do after you're vaccinated. Details now from News 9's Tara Jabbour.
The Jefferson County Health Department is continuing vaccinations across the community, and now those who are 16 years old and up are eligible to get the vaccine.
As of yesterday, we saw we were at close to 25% of our county being vaccinated.
1 out of every 4 people over the age of 16 are vaccinated against COVID-19 in Jefferson County. And those 80 years older and up are 65% vaccinated. As more final doses are administered, there is something to keep in mind.
The recommendation the CDC has put out is that 14 days or 2 weeks after your second dose of the Pfizer or the Moderna vaccine, or 14 days after your first and only dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, you would be considered fully vaccinated.
After you are vaccinated, health officials recommend that you still wear a mask.
You'll want to wear a mask when you're out in public or if you're congregating with folks who have not been vaccinated.
According to the CDC, after you're vaccinated, you can gather indoors with fully vaccinated people without wearing a mask. You can also gather indoors with unvaccinated people from one other household without masks, unless any of those people have an increased risk for severe illness from COVID-19. I asked Health Commissioner Andrew Henry what he would say to someone who was hesitant about getting the vaccine.
Figure out, why do I want to get this vaccine? Is it for me or is it for my loved ones? So you need to weigh the options. You need to also consider, okay, the vaccine is going to be the quickest way for us to get back to normal as a society.
And the Jefferson County Health Department is able to help you get to your vaccine. When they call you, just tell them that you need transportation help, and they will set that up through the SVRTA. Reporting in Jefferson County, Tara Jabbour, News 9.
Steubenville High School has received confirmation it can begin vaccinating students during school hours through Change Inc. Several students received theirs today. Principal Ted Gorman said they've been working with the Jefferson County Health Commissioner. The vaccines will be administered every Friday as long as it's needed, and students do need parental consent to receive the vaccine. The vaccine is still only approved for people age 16 and over. While COVID numbers are trending down and vaccines are going into more arms every day, West Virginia Governor Jim Justice says it's not the time to let up on prevention.
We made the right decisions on this mask. Many people jumped the gun and said, no, you don't need a mask. I've told you over and over, I don't like this mask, but it does save lives. And we can't put a price tag on a life. We're going to have to do this a little bit longer. We're surely not going to have to do it forever. I know it's inconvenient. Just hang in there just a little bit longer.
To register for a vaccine in West Virginia, visit vaccinate.wv.gov or call 833-734-0965. And with Governor Justice making vaccine distribution more widely available, Wheeling Hospital is looking for people who want to get their shots. The hospital has launched a new self-scheduling website for people to make their COVID-19 vaccinations, which will be administered at the clinic at the Highlands. Next week, the clinic will be administering about 5,000 doses, and they want to make sure anyone who wants a shot gets a spot.
It's a huge moment. I mean, again, this is what we've been talking about for, a year plus. And the eligibility requirements are just to be a resident of the state of West Virginia. County does not matter. So even though this clinic is located in Ohio County, Brooke, Marshall, Wetzel County are certainly welcome to come up here.
For a link to sign up for an appointment, you can head to our website, WTOV9.com. And developing news tonight, a high-speed chase ended in an arrest in Glendale. Around 8:30, police spotted a vehicle on Route 2 in Benwood going almost 95 miles per hour. The driver did not stop, and officers chased the vehicle through McMecken and Glendale. That's when the car hit another vehicle on Route 2 in Glendale, also knocking down a power line. Officials say there were injuries in that crash, and one person was arrested, now facing multiple charges. Stick with News 9 as we learn more.
Thanks for staying up with us tonight. Happy Friday to all of you. As we go into the weekend, we're mapping out some quieter weather, and we're even noticing that tonight, and especially with respect to how we started today. Tonight is looking very calm. We have a light to calm wind in place, temperatures dropping into the 40s. That's where we're going to bottom out tonight. So it'll be a chilly start to tomorrow morning. You'll see the highest wind into the tri-state regions, the 5-mile-per-hour wind, a little higher elevation at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. For tonight, partly cloudy, chilly. We have some cloud cover sticking around tonight. We'll likely notice a little more clearing in the skies. Not a completely clear sky, but plenty of sunshine nonetheless. Likely for your Saturday, temperatures climbing back near 70 degrees. A chilly start, but a warm into your Saturday. From there, we're looking warmer Saturday night with more cloud cover, but with the cloud cover comes some showers arriving into Sunday. We'll map out that rain for your Sunday coming up.
More severe weather coverage now. A pine tree sheared off and fell into a power line in the St. Clairsville area this morning. It happened north of Route 40 near Memorial Park. Crews removed the tree from that line before cleaning up the remaining debris. Power should now be restored to residents in that area. And this morning's wind took its toll on a New Manchester neighborhood, even knocking a family's trailer off its foundation. News 9's Jessica Haberly shows you the damage.
Really powerful winds taking hold in New Manchester. In fact, a family's home shifted right off of its foundation. They were inside the trailer along Cherry Lake Road. This happened about the 8 o'clock hour. Thankfully, no one was hurt. They cut the power immediately, and then it was just a matter of finding their pets, some cats who were scared. Once they got them out, they could take off, and they're not quite sure what's next for them and the future of their home. In a neighbor's yard, you see some play equipment that was blown over, and these were big pieces, a true testament to the power of that wind and the respect we need to make sure we show Mother Nature in these times. Reporting in New Manchester, Jessica Haberly, News 9.
Continuing coverage now, neighbors reached out to us with concerns over a dilapidated building sitting idle for a week after its initial collapse. So we went to find out why it's still there. News 9's Kate Davison has more.
When the old Belmont bar first collapsed last week, the contractor was on site within hours. They started removing materials and also ceased operation. Demolition work has yet to resume on this property.
My concern is the north side where the other business is at.
Code enforcer Dick Flanagan has been in touch with state regulators.
The EPA had notified me, so I'm working with the EPA. I'll get with the owner on the procedure on an emergency demolition abatement for the asbestos.
Flanagan says you can bypass the 10-day waiting period for the demolition permit if the EPA deems the structure unsafe to enter or in danger of an imminent collapse. However, he says today's conditions shouldn't cause any further damage.
But it's down low enough that the wind should have never caught any of that stuff and knocked it over.
He says once the contractor finishes a different job in the area, they'll be back to tear it down for good.
So it'll go all the way down to the basement. Everything will be out, then it'll be backfilled and graded over.
Kate Davison reporting demolition should resume at some point this week. And tonight we've also reached out to the Ohio EPA about a demolition permit. Our questions were forwarded to the Division of Air Pollution Control, which does manage these types of situations. We'll have more when we learn it. Still to come on News 9 tonight, local lawmakers voting to override Governor DeWine's veto, what the bill does and how it's affecting your local health department.
You are watching News 9 Tonight with Rich Pierce, Kate Davison, and meteorologist Nathan Shutt. This is News 9 Tonight. Here's a live look at the Highlands from the lens of Tower Cam 9 atop the Robinson Auto Group.
President Biden is sketching out an ambitious agenda moving forward, but some lawmakers in both parties are questioning how much it'll cost and how he plans to pay for it. Still, everything he wants to do is currently being overshadowed by the crisis at the border and the administration's urgent efforts to stem the flow of migrants. Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
While immigration dominated President Biden's first formal news conference, the president was most fired up about Republicans using false election fraud claims to restrict voting rights.
It's sick.
Today, calling it Jim Crow in the 21st century and an atrocity.
That it has nothing to do with fairness, nothing to do with decency.
The president says the Department of Justice is taking a look at Georgia's strict new regulations that disproportionately affect communities of color. A state representative arrested while knocking on the door as the governor was signing the bill. Newly elected Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock weighing in.
They don't like the outcome, and so rather than change their message, they're trying to change the rules.
Meanwhile, the Biden administration grappling with the surge in migrants at the southern border amid news that a 9-year-old girl died while trying to cross the Rio Grande River. House Democrats and Senate Republicans making separate trips to the border today and trading blame over the crowded conditions in border facilities.
There are 15,000 children in custody right now, and those numbers are rising, and they are rising because of the Biden administration's mistakes.
The previous administration had sought to dismantle the infrastructure for processing asylum seekers.
President Biden vowing conditions at the border will improve soon. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Still to come here on News 9 tonight, severe weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Shutt is in next with a complete look at your forecast. Don't go anywhere. After the Ohio Senate voted this week to override Governor Mike DeWine on Senate Bill 22, we're asking our local state representatives about their support for the legislation. At its core, the bill allows the State General Assembly to vote to extend or end states of emergency, modify public health orders, and limit the role of local health boards during a pandemic. News 9's Kate Davison has more.
Is it a victory? Yeah, I'm going to say it's a victory because I think our residents and our constituents are going to have a better voice in the next pandemic emergency or whatever you want to call it.
We asked Ohio State Representative Don Jones about the section of the bill that limits the power of your local health departments during a public emergency.
Why would you take away more power from our local health departments? Talk about that.
Well, and that's been a point that has been brought up to many of us, and I don't know that we're taking any power away, and they will say that we are, but we are just saying that we don't want local health boards to start putting more requirements or restrictions on people just because of a fear.
We also spoke with Representative Ron Ferguson.
Whoever the governor is, it doesn't matter who that person is. They're either going to be man, woman, they're going to be of one race, they're going to be young or old from one part of the state, and they're never going to look as much like Ohio as a 132-person legislature where we have men, women, all different races, religions, ages, backgrounds. And so bringing more voices to the table, that's exactly what this country is founded on.
He disputes any concerns that in future situations the Ohio governor won't be able to act immediately.
This bill does nothing at all to change what the governor can do. The governor can still do all the same things. All it does is give us, the legislature, the opportunity, if we think it's necessary, to come together, take a vote, and override these orders if that's the case.
Kate Davison reporting the bill will not go into effect until later this summer. Amid controversy over Bluefield State College wanting to bring an engineering program to Wheeling, 2 local colleges have announced a transfer agreement for an engineering and construction management program. This afternoon, the presidents of Wheeling University and West Virginia Northern Community College inked that new agreement. Upon obtaining an associate in science degree from WVNCC, students can now transfer to Wheeling University to get a Bachelor of Science degree in engineering. We asked both presidents about the timing of this announcement. They said it had been in the works for months.